All right, welcome back, guys, to episode 4 of Behind the Console. As usual, I'm Derek, and this is
Dot.
So we're on the 4th episode today. We had a couple delays, but this guy had a little nice vacation. He was too busy to shoot the podcast.
Hey man, it happens. Things happen.
Yeah, you can tell this guy got dark. He got a nice tan going on.
I needed a little bit extra sun.
Yeah.
In my body.
But yeah, we're back today, and what we wanted to talk about today are a couple of things. So I guess the first thing that we could start with today is studio etiquette. So what does studio etiquette mean? So I guess it could go both ways. So etiquette in terms of when a client comes to a studio, what would they expect from the engineer? And also as an engineer, what do we expect from our clients? So what are some things that, when someone pulls up for a session, what are some things you expect from them?
I think it's just common sense, right? In my opinion, it's like when you go to somebody's place, you don't go with the intention to trash the place.
Yeah.
Like when you bring your Hennessy, when you bring your backwoods, when you bring whatever you bring to the studio session, it would be nice to clean up after yourself. I think it's just again, it's just being, I guess, well behaved.
Well-mannered, respectful.
Well-mannered, respectful, and
Yeah.
all that stuff, right? So I think, and again, look, we've been there, man. I've ran a lot of sessions where after the session, the whole studio just looked like
Trap house.
not worse than a trap house, And it's like, the thing is that too, I feel like people don't realize, right? Clients don't realize. They come, they bring their mess. You are the one who's cleaning it after, and you're not getting paid for cleaning it.
No.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I don't know, like even for me, if I remember if I went to, if I was in any other session, whether it would be I'm booking a session at another studio or like, I'm with somebody, end of the session, I always make sure, put everything in the garbage, like
Yes.
don't leave any mess, like clean it up as much as I can to the point where it looks pretty much the same how it looked before I started the session.
Yes.
That's kind of my state of mind. But
I agree.
again, I've been to many sessions. I've been to sessions with other people, and it just boggles me that people just don't have respect for the space sometimes.
Literally, man.
It's like, it's to the point where it's like ridiculous. But hey, some people are, I think it's like that just shows what type of person you are.
For sure. Because you do have the mixture, sometimes you work with clients who come and they're very respectful, they even ask like, oh, you want me to, like, for example, I remember like a couple of times, like when people come to the session to bring food, I'm like, oh, you want like a plate for it? You want like a utensil, whatever?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And like at the end of the session, oh, you want me to put this in the kitchen for you? Like, do you want me to just leave it in the sink? Like, that's respect.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm showing you respect and offering my services to you, and I could just at least respect the same thing in return instead of you just leaving your food and your garbage on the floor and cups everywhere. And it's just, like you said, it's just common sense, to be honest.
Common sense,
Common sense.
So that's part of it. I think another part is just being transparent. What are you looking for? What do you want to get?
For sure.
All those things, like what do you want to pay?
Yeah.
We were discussing earlier that, people come to the sessions, they would run the whole entire session, and at the end of the session, they're like, yo, I got you next week or some. Which is like, okay, but you can disclose that prior. Like, mention those things, especially any type of financial things, prior to booking.
Yes. 100%.
Because again, I feel like, and we spoke about it too, I guess the way how things, especially when it comes to bookings and stuff in Toronto or like Canada, Toronto specifically, we don't really, like every now and like, I would say like this, yes, we try to get deposits and all that stuff as much as we can, but sometimes it's just like, it's almost counterproductive because in States, everything is credit card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bam, 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 put the terminal in, bam, 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 put the deposit in, pay for the whole session, bam, 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 everything is good to go.
I feel like it's also easier there too because they have so many different payment options.
Exactly.
They have freaking Venmo, they have Square, or they have
a whole bunch.
so many different things that, or even Apple Pay.
Yeah.
You can literally send someone a payment through iMessage.
Yeah.
Right? But it's feel like over here, it makes it, not that it's difficult to send someone money, but if you got to do an e-transfer, you got to log into your bank account. You got to add the recipient, you got to verify, you got to send the money. So it's a little bit more of a tedious process.
Yeah.
So that for sure, they have more streamlined in the US.
think one thing that I don't understand why is not, I don't know if it's not advertised or it's not being used and stuff, but it's the Wealth Simple Pay.
Yeah.
Because that works literally like
Apple Pay,
it's an Apple, no, what's the one that they use in States?
Venmo, or
Venmo and all that
Yeah.
stuff. It's the same thing. You
Cash App.
Yeah, Cash App and all that
Yeah.
stuff. You just put the name, bam, 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 send money, it goes through.
Yeah,
easy,
yeah, yeah.
easy flex. But you know, I think with e-transfer, as good as it is like it is a little bit counterproductive.
It is.
And on top of that, it's like $1.50 fee for sending it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
depending on your plan.
Yeah, and I guess again with a lot of, I mean, you know it, I know it, it's like with a lot of guys, the trapmans and all that, these guys don't even have bank accounts.
Yeah, seriously. Sometimes I'll ask people for deposits. Like, it's funny because asking someone for a deposit can go so many different ways.
And it's supposed to be a simple
And
thing.
it's supposed to be a simple thing, literally. Because it's not even, I know some people, I don't know how it works in the States. Do they ask for 50%? Is that how it usually works?
When I was in States and I was booking sessions, they usually take the whole payment up front.
Whole payment up front.
Yeah, for a
Wow.
session.
See, I mean, when I'm asking for a deposit, I usually just ask, for example, if I'm doing a session, I just ask them to send me the deposit for the first hour.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is very fair. If
Yeah.
you're booking 2-3 hours or even 4 hours, I just ask you to send the first hour.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it you can pay at the end.
And
of
if you
it.
don't show up, you're not getting your deposit, just the way how it is.
But it's like you lost an hour, but I lost the potential of booking someone else for
Exactly.
the 3-4 hours. But at least I still get an hour out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
For you wasting my time.
Exactly.
You know? So it's fair, but you know, talking to certain people, it's like, bro, why are you asking me for a deposit? Like, why can't I just pay you after? Like, why would I pay you before I record the song? I'm just like,
People make it just much more, as I'm saying, people here are much more complicated than they are. when it comes
Exactly.
to, like dealing with, like, I don't know, even like when I had the session with those American guys, it's just so much easier to deal with.
yeah.
I don't understand why is it so much easier to deal with somebody from the neighboring country. They
Yeah.
don't make issues, and even like after the session, these guys cleaned up the whole thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
where do you want me to put it? Like they have garbage bags, this and
Yeah,
that and
yeah,
that. you know?
yeah.
It's almost like, I don't know, man. I feel like, you know, we always had this Canadian propaganda that, oh, Americans this, Americans that, this
Right.
and that. But I'm like, bro, every single time in America is like, I just feel like people are so much nicer.
I feel you, man.
You know what I mean? It's like, it almost doesn't make, I don't know if it doesn't make sense, but it's just like, why everything here has to be so complicated when it's like literally the simplest thing that we're
is.
trying to do.
It's just a simple business transaction.
Yeah.
It's just business. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated. And we're not here trying to steal your money. I'm not gonna take a deposit for your first hour for $70 and ghost you. Like, what do I gain out of $70 from you? It's my reputation on the line. You know, so I'm not trying to scam you. I'm not trying to finesse you. It's just standard business practices.
I mean, it's a deposit. It's just what it is.
Exactly. Because if you're a serious artist, the way I see it is, if you're a serious artist, you're gonna come to the session.
Yeah.
So one way or another, you're gonna pay me the money.
Yeah.
So if I'm asking you for a deposit for the first hour, you're gonna pay that money anyways. So why not just have good business practice? Just send a deposit, and then at the end of the session, we do with the rest. It's really not. I really don't think it's
sense.
asking for much.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know.
It is what it is, you know. Sometimes it's sometimes I just lack words to even describe those things. Because those are the things that really frustrate me, at least.
Yeah,
You know what I
for
mean?
sure.
It's like those little things make me like, why do I have to deal with this?
100%.
When I just want it to be smooth, like bam, 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 just efficient.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
1 + 1 is 2. It's not 3, it's not 10, it's not 22.
Yes.
1 + 1 is 2. Very simple math.
Yeah, and just transparency, communication, like you said. If you want to book a session, but you're getting paid, the day after, it's like maybe if you told me at the beginning, like, hey man, look, like I want to come for the session today. I really want to record this song, but are you okay with me paying you, a day or two later when I get paid for my paycheck? And most times, if you just communicate that to me and, we have a good relationship, I'm like, yeah, it's cool, man. Like, no worries. But if you're going to tell me after the session, after we just had a 3-4 hour session, I'm expected to get paid my money. You're like, yo, by the way, I can't pay you until like, give me like a week. I'm just going to be like, bro, come on. Like, why are we doing this, you know?
And it's like, look, if you state that before the session, 99.9% of the time, you're still gonna run the session.
Yes.
You're gonna be like, hey, that's fine.
Yes.
At least we know, okay, you're gonna pay me next week. There's no problem.
Yes.
But then it's like, if you run the session and they say after the session, it's just like, it just leaves like a bad taste in your mouth. It's like, why are you doing this?
Exactly. Because okay, maybe the word disrespect is not the right word, but it almost feels like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like they're not really valuing your time
Yeah.
as much as you might think they are.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it just happens,
Yeah.
you know, unfortunately, but you know, that's part of that's part of the thing.
Do you have any horror stories in terms of clients leaving the studio a mess?
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, that's still at 669. Man, I have a lot of stories at 669. I mean, certain things like, you know, people getting too drunk and just vomiting in a washroom and not, you know, hitting the toilet. They just like, you know,
That's the worst one for me.
and then it's like somebody has to clean it. Obviously, who's gonna clean it?
That happened to me.
You know?
That was actually what I was gonna say. So I had a session, I think this was last year. I had a session with this guy, and I worked with him a couple times, but he usually pulls up maybe, you know, 2-3 people max. Like it's nothing too crazy. But this time, I remember it was last year during the summer. He pulled up, and I swear to you, I think 10 to 15 people came in behind him. And I was like, oh my God.
One of those ones.
One of those sessions. So now, obviously, you know, those kind of sessions, everyone's trying to cram into the room.
Can I just say something?
What?
Just to like regards to everything that we said before.
Yeah.
If somebody's rolling 15 men's deep, it
Yes.
would be nice.
Communication.
Communication. Hey man,
Communication.
can I bring 15 people with me
Yes,
to
yes.
the studio?
Yes,
It would
yes.
be fucking nice to communicate because it's like, you know, if you bring in 2-3 people, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like, it's 2-3 people, it's fine.
Yeah.
If you're bringing 5 people, it's already getting like crowded.
Yes, yes,
If you
yes.
bring in 15 people, you bring in a whole fucking class to the studio.
Yeah, man. You gotta let us know beforehand, bro.
Oh man.
You gotta let us know. So he pulled up, and I was like, oh, yo, like, where are all these people? Like, what are you guys saying? Like, why are you bringing so many people? It's like, oh, we just came from a barbecue. So I'm like, oh, you guys just came from a barbecue. So that means you guys were drinking and eating all night, and now you pulled up to the studio. So everyone's a little turned up. Everyone's coming in with bottles. I'm just like, oh my God, it's gonna be one of those nights. I'm like, no. So obviously I'm running the session. People are just coming in and out of the room. People are sitting in the back. Everyone's just shouting. I can't even hear what I'm
Yep.
trying to record. There's like 5 guys like standing in the booth. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is a nightmare.
Yep.
And obviously I'm so preoccupied the whole time because it's like, there's probably at least 4 or 5 guys who want to record. So it's like one guy records, all right, next guy hops in. So I don't even have a chance to leave my chair to go out into the hallway, to the lounge to see what's going on. Everyone's just running crazy, you know? At the end of the session, wrap everything up. And this, mind you, that session, this was one of those situations where the guy came to me after the session. He's like, yo, bro, I spent all my dollars for the barbecue. You know, I had to buy all these, like, all the meat and all the bread. And
Hold up. So he pulls up with 15 men's deep,
yes,
causes chaos.
chaos.
And at the end, how long was the session?
The session was, I think, it was 3 or 4 hours.
Okay, so let's say 4 hours. And after that, he's telling you that he doesn't have the money to pay.
He doesn't have the money
That's
to pay
crazy.
me. Because he's like, yo, bro, I spent all the money for the barbecue. I had to buy all the supplies, whatever. He's like, yo, do you mind if I pay you a couple of days? I'm like, bro. I'm like, you know what? At this point, I was so over the session. I'm like, all right, man, don't worry about it. Like, just send me the money whenever.
Yeah.
So everyone wraps up, everyone leaves. I get everyone out. I go back upstairs. I gotta go use the washroom. I walk into the washroom, puke all over the floor. Someone just puked all over the floor. They didn't even bother telling me about it.
But
And they just leave.
yeah, that's the crazy thing. It's like, but that's exactly like what we said before. Is like people come to somebody's place. It doesn't matter if it's a place of business or your personal
Yeah.
place, whatever that. It doesn't matter. But people come, leave mess, and like they don't even bother. Like, come on, man, you puked in somebody's washroom.
Yes, on the floor.
On the floor, not even in the toilet.
On the floor.
Don't you think that it would be nice to go to the person, apologize, and be like, "Yo, can you show me where the mop is, or
Yeah.
let me clean it up."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, nah, let's just fucking puke everywhere and fuck this guy. He's gonna clean it up himself.
Insane, bro.
Crazy.
After running such a long session, and mind you, the session started late too. Like these guys pulled up at like 11 p.m. or midnight.
Yeah.
So it's already like 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm trying to go home. I walked into the washroom, just puke all over the floor. I'm like, all right, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't get paid. There's puke all over the floor. Like, bro, this is worst possible nightmare.
Yep.
You know? Insane.
I had a situation too. I don't even remember what happened, but again, at that time at 669, there was always a whole bunch of people in and out and this and that. So it was one of those situations. I left and I don't know, somebody was in the lounge,
Right.
whatever. People were like, having whatever. And then I got back to the studio the next day, and the whole staircase, like upstairs,
Yeah.
vomit, puke.
The whole staircase?
Yeah.
Whoa, it's
It's like just those, like, what was it, like 5 steps or something?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
5 steps.
damn. That's crazy.
And I didn't even know who it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think that was even before the cameras and stuff too.
Damn, that's crazy.
It is what it is,
That's crazy, man.
But that's the thing too, right? I feel like one of the biggest, I don't know if it's an issue. I guess one of the biggest issues when it comes to like music and stuff. Again, most of the people treat music like it's just fun. Whatever they do, everybody want to be serious, but they're just not really serious. But you know how it is. But when they go to places, they just treat it like it's a party.
Yeah.
They don't treat it like it's a. Especially, I don't get it if you have like a personal relationship with an engineer. Why would you like imagine we go to somebody's place?
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even want to be like, I don't want to say it, but sometimes I'm like, man, I would go to somebody's house and I would take a shit in the middle of their fucking room
Yeah,
and just leave, because that's exactly how it feels.
Yeah. It does. It does.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's not any different from you coming through and just like messing the whole place up and then leaving without paying because you spent all the money on barbecue. Like, like crazy, man.
Crazy. It's actually insane some of the things we have to deal with.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
these are all like behind the scenes things that people don't know about. But
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure any other engineer,
yes, for sure.
everybody got some type of horror story.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like people doing too many drugs,
Yes,
drinking too much, or like there's always things that are happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure there's like people breaking equipment.
Oh,
I mean,
that's the worst. for
even
sure.
at back in the day at Studio B, I'm not even gonna say who did that, but like I had and that was a Studio B when I used to be in the lounge.
Yeah.
And there was I love this guy. He's my bro. So it's like I'm not even gonna mention his name, but
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, yo, bro. He had like a cup of water by the console. I used to
Yeah.
have like the Tascam 48, like the
Yeah.
bigger one, right? And I keep telling him like, yo, bro, don't put the water by the thing,
Yeah.
by the faders, by the
Yeah.
console. Yeah, no worries. 30 minutes in, what happened?
He spilled.
The water spills on the fucking thing.
Crazy.
And again, I never got paid for it. He never covered anything.
Yeah. Did he offer?
I mean, he was like, yeah, I'm going to pay.
Yeah.
But
But it didn't happen.
look, the amount of time that people say that, yeah, I got you,
Yeah.
it's just part of the game.
Charge it to the game, man.
Charge it to the game, but it's like, man, the game is becoming more and more expensive. You know what I mean?
Trust, man.
Just madness. But yeah, I think probably most of the people who are watching it are probably 90% engineers. I mean, we probably have some artists too, but if you're an artist, just remember when you go to the studio, just be respectful.
Yes.
And utilize your time in a way where the money that you're spending goes towards something that actually is gonna benefit you in the future. Because
100%.
a lot of, man, I've ran sessions that literally, I got paid. I'm not even gonna play. I got paid, but nothing was done in the session.
Yep. I have those all the time, man.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
I remember I used to have those guys from Saga. They used to book like 8-10 hour sessions.
Yeah.
And 4 or 5 hours of the session, we just like listening to YouTube beats.
Yeah, man. That happens, bro.
One time, same guy, he booked like a 6 or 8 hour session on the Christmas day.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I need the money at that. I'm like, I'm running the session. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Right.
This guy, out of 8 hours, I'm not gonna lie to you, we maybe ran the session for 2 hours. This guy brought like Hennessy bottle, he drank the whole thing and he slept for 6 hours.
He fell asleep?
He fell asleep. He like recorded something, I started like mixing this
Yeah.
and that. Next time I'm looking around, he's like this.
You didn't bother waking him up?
Nah, I was like, yo, but he was so drunk, bro.
Yeah.
Like
He wasn't waking up.
he wasn't waking up.
Wow, that's crazy.
I mean, he paid me, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything, but it's like, it's kind of crazy, you know?
That is crazy.
Or one time I remember another thing. That was like, I think Wellington had the session at Studio B.
Yeah.
You know, Bobby booked it. Some guys came from Montreal. They wanted to run the session, like 4 hour session or
Yeah.
something. Bro, I'm running the session upstairs. Wellington comes to me. He's like, yo, Dot, those guys downstairs don't want to leave. And I'm like, what do you mean they don't want to leave?
Yeah.
Yo, they got drunk. They don't want to leave.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So I go downstairs and like, the session is done. It's like already 20 minutes after the session.
Did they pay for the session?
Yeah, everything was pre-booked.
Okay.
But I go there. The guys are like sleeping. I think it was like I don't know if it was Hennessy or some other cognac. Something was they drank a whole entire bottle. Both of the guys knocked out. Like I thought they were dead.
Yeah.
Like not responding at all. Like completely, bro. Like this. One guy had eyes opened and did not even no response, nothing.
His eyes were fully open.
Fully open.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, yo, guys,
Yeah.
For like 5 minutes, I'm like, yo, guys,
Yeah.
yo, time to wake up. One of the guys, he's like, oh.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, I'm tired of this shit. I slapped the guy, bro. I slapped him.
In the face?
In the face.
Yo.
I'm tired.
That's crazy.
I'm not gonna be playing those fucking games. I don't have time for this.
That's crazy.
I'm running the session upstairs. These guys are downstairs. There's another session coming through. These guys are drunk. I'm like, bro, you guys already passed your time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick you. If I have to drag you on the street and leave you on the street, I'm gonna do it.
That's crazy, man. I slapped him in the
I
face.
slapped him. I slapped him. He woke up. He was like, ooh. I was like, I grabbed him like this. I'm like, yo, bro, your session is done.
Yeah.
So it's like he was like, the other guy's still like knocked out.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I don't have time. I grabbed the guy, put him up.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he woke up. They barely got downstairs.
Yeah.
Mind this. Somehow, and mind, that took like 30 minutes.
Right.
25, 30 minutes of my time to get people out of the fucking studio.
Right.
I got the guys out of the door. Wellington was with me. These guys, drunk, bro. These guys were like completely donezo.
Yeah.
They parked right across the street. These guys got into the car, bro.
And they drove?
Bro, Wellington's like, yo, these guys are not incapable of driving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, they just sat there for they turn on the engine and stuff.
Right.
I'm like, yo, these guys are nuts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm going home.
Yeah,
I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
Wellington was like on the other side, kind of still looking. I don't know what happened with these guys, but it's just like,
That's crazy.
it's just crazy, man. Like
That's
people do the weirdest stuff. And again, it's like you go to you book a random session at the studio that you've never been to, and you just become this.
Yeah. That's actually disrespectful.
Oh, it's super disrespectful.
That's just disrespectful.
You know what I mean? But hey, man, I'm not gonna lie. That slap was one of the best slaps that I ever had in my life.
That's crazy.
This
guy probably didn't even feel it. Like,
oh yeah, he didn't even know.
He didn't even realize it. He just probably woke up. He's like, oh.
He didn't know that slap.
Yeah.
He had no clue. He was just like, and I literally grabbed him. I grabbed him by the thing. And I'm like, yo, bro, your session is done.
That's crazy.
Bro, trust me, just madness.
Too many horror stories, man.
Hey, we gotta change the topic, man, because I'm getting too heated.
Too many stories.
The memories, the flashbacks are coming back,
Well, the second topic, another thing we want to talk about today, we're not just going to keep talking about horror stories. We can keep talking about this all day. But the second thing we want to talk about, discuss is, I guess we could talk about referencing and the importance of referencing our mixes in different speakers and headphones, but also just how the differences between mixing in headphones and also mixing with speakers.
Yeah.
Is there one that you prefer? Is there one that you think is maybe even better than the other? Or do you think, they're equally as important? Like, what's usually your process? I know you probably start with the speakers, but how do you go after that to check your mixes?
I would say like this, like different times I obviously have different approaches. Before I sold my car, a lot of stuff I was definitely referencing in my car.
Oh yeah, just okay. How are you doing car tests now?
I don't.
Oh, you don't do car tests anymore?
Not really. I mean, sometimes I guess like Jade's car and stuff.
Oh, sure.
If I have to, I would still if I'm in the car with somebody, I would bump it. But honestly, for me, the reason why car tests became less relevant, at least for me, is because I was so used to the system in the car that I had at the time.
The Audi, right?
Yeah. That is I think that's kind of what it comes down to, right? It's you're used to hearing stuff certain way accordingly to what speakers, sound system, headphones, and all that stuff you have, right? For me, I have the Sennheiser Momentum 4s, and that's what for me, this is my gold standard
Yes, yes,
of
yes.
listening to what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah, that's how you reference every other song.
Exactly.
That you're
But
comparing it to, right?
most of the people gonna have AirPods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and AirPods sound very, very different to the Sennheiser.
For sure, 100%.
You know what I mean? And again, what is better, what is worse,
Subjective.
it's all subjective. You know, I got guys who are like, oh, something sounds like this and this in my earpods. And then, you know, I'm liking this, I'm liking that. But I'm like, ultimately, at the end of the day, I understand everybody kind of want to hear what they want to hear. But every single speaker, every single headphone, earphone, and all that stuff, car is gonna sound different. Like I was going from the rehearsal last time. And I was just referencing that I was with B-Rob, and I told him to like reference the latest mix that I sent him.
Okay.
And mine, it's like he has like it was like a 2024 Benz, like one of the newer Benzes and all that stuff, sound system and all that. And it's like the low end in that car was crazy. Like the low.
Did he do anything to his EQ though in the car?
No, it's probably just
flat?
Just flat. I don't know if he did, but like I'm pretty sure it's just stock. The low end sounds crazy.
Right.
But then when I heard the vocals sound like there's 400 hertz rolled off. But when I hear it on the speakers here,
Doesn't sound like that.
I know I did not roll out 400 hertz.
Of course, of course.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but then when I hear it on my Sennheisers, the vocals sound perfectly fine.
Right.
Like it's not rolled up, right? So it's like I can go and I can go back to the mix, and because I'm hearing it in the car a certain way, I'm like, let me just add more bottom and whatever to the vocals. But then I'm like, I'm also aware that, I'm aware of my decisions. I know I didn't roll up at that much.
Yes.
I know it doesn't sound like this in those speakers in my ATCs. I know it doesn't sound like that in the Sennheisers.
Right.
Why does it sound like that in that particular car?
Right.
But then I can listen to it in another car and it's gonna sound
Different. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like we kind of got to a very, I would say like this. With that new track, the one that I mixed for Benz, the Ready, Set, Go. When I mixed it, I was mixing it with the feeling that I had. I was like, I don't want the track to be like this. I was just having fun with it. I'm like, let me just make it sound the way how I think it's supposed to sound. Right? When the song released, I went to the playlist and I'm listening to the songs on playlist. And there's songs like 2-3 dB louder, more in your face. And I'm questioning myself. I'm like, man, maybe I should have made it louder.
You're talking about when it came out?
Yeah, when it came out. I'm like, man, maybe I should have made it louder. Like it bothered me. I made another master just louder.
Right.
Because I was listening to other stuff that was so much more in your face.
Yeah.
But the thing is that when I was listening to the songs that were in the face, I didn't like the way how they sounded because they sounded so much in my face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It almost sounded like noise. Like I'm listening to noise because it was so loud.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I was like, and he was happy with it. He was like, yo, it sounds perfect. Like it sounds great. You know what I mean? But then I realized it's like when people started listening to the song, sharing and this and that, people don't care, man. It's like they just care about the record itself. It has to sound, it just needs to feel good, sound good. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like if you know what you're doing and you know how you want the record to feel and sound, as important as referencing is, because it is important, I don't think you should focus your whole entire process on the referencing if you trust your speakers and you trust your ears.
Yes. Right.
You know?
Yeah, I think the takeaway, like my takeaway from everything that you just said, and also how I feel about it as well, is you should use what you know the best. So what do we know the best? We know our speakers the best. You know your Sennheisers the best. You know whatever other listening platforms you use the best. So it's like when you're listening to it in the Benz, it sounds like all the 500 hertz is rolled off, but most likely that's just how the speakers are in the Benz. So if you listen to any other song, it probably sounds the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I trust my AirPods and I trust my ATCs and I trust my car just because I've been driving my car for what, like 5+ years now. So I know exactly how things are supposed to sound in my car.
Yeah.
So I would only use my car, my AirPods. And funny thing too is the AirPods that I'm using are second generation.
Yeah.
So it's like very, very old.
Yeah.
And they're getting to the point where they're kind of starting to die out. So I actually purchased a new pair of second generation AirPods.
Oh, you got the second generation. You didn't even get the newest one.
I got the second generation.
You're so used to the
because
second.
I'm so used to how it sounds and I know exactly how it sounds. But when I listen to the new ones, they don't sound the same as my old ones.
Yeah.
And
Oh, like the new, even though it's a second generation, they sound different than the ones that you already have.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
even between AirPods of the same generation, they're not the same.
Yeah.
Like the new ones that I bought, even though they're still old, they sound so much brighter than my older ones.
Yeah.
And there's less bottom end in the AirPods as well.
Yeah.
And I remember I was mixing some songs with it because I was using the new ones because I would listen to it with my AirPods, you know, I'd go back to the speakers, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I realized after, I'm like, and a song came out on Spotify that I mixed. I'm like, why does it sound so dark? Like, I thought, and I put on my AirPods, I was like, oh, but everything sounds so bright in the AirPods.
Yeah.
And then I put on my old AirPods and I put them on, I'm like, oh, wow, this is a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like, everything in the new AirPods were significantly brighter.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize, because I just assumed, you know, same generation AirPods,
yeah.
they probably sound the exact same. So again, it just ties back to, it's important to just use what you know the best. If you're so accustomed to using a certain pair of headphones to check your mixes, if you're using a certain pair of speakers to check your mixes, like rely on those. Like don't start testing your mixes in random places, in random cars, because you're just gonna drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna sound different everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? So stick to what you know, and that way you just won't keep running circles around yourself.
Yeah, and it's a, you know, just the fact that you said that the same AirPod sounds different.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the thing too. Somebody might hear something and their AirPod might sound different
Yeah,
from yours.
literally.
You know what I mean? Because again, the louder you listen to, the drivers probably get more wear and tear and all that stuff. So it affects the sound and all that. You know what I mean?
It does.
And like, I mean, man, I know guys that would only reference to mixes from their, like, listening from their phone.
Yeah.
They like, oh yeah, do this. I don't hear the bass, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, the only reference point would be their phone. But like, even what I noticed with I got like, you know, the Samsung S20, the older one that I've been using forever. And I got an S23, like not the latest generation, but a little bit newer. And the speaker on the 23 and 20 sound completely different.
Yeah.
But my speaker on the 20 is already busted because I had this phone for like 5-6 years.
Right.
So when I listen to it, it sounds very different how it sounded when I got the phone brand new. All the bass is gone.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and again, it's like, if somebody has like older iPhone and that's the only thing that they reference their songs on, and you know, their bass is gone and all that stuff, you can't really have an actual representation of what you're hearing.
No, 100%.
So then when sometimes people make those decisions, they're like, change this, change that, it's like, you're not really changing decisions based on actual facts
and accuracy.
and accuracy. You just want to make decisions because you hear what you hear.
Yes. I remember one time I sent this mix to someone, and then they're like, oh, could you just turn up the bass in the song? And mind you, it was also a 2-track, so I couldn't really do much with it. But like, oh, could you just turn up like the bottom end of the song? Like, I can't really hear it. And I'm listening, and I go back to the mix. I'm listening, so I'm like what? Like I'm hearing the kick, like everything is hitting. So then I asked him, I was like, oh, do you mind me asking, what are you listening on? She's like, oh, I'm playing it from my computer speakers. And I'm like, computer speakers? He's like, yeah, I have this like old like Dell laptop. You know, I just usually listen to my music through my computer speakers. So I'm just playing it through my computer speakers. I'm just like, you're joking me. Like, that's why you probably don't hear it, because you're listening through it on your 10 years old Dell laptop.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and the fact is that, I mean, look, great mix or like great mix should sound fine on whatever you listen to.
Yeah.
You know, regardless. But the fact is that most of the people that, you know, they gonna bump their mixes, songs and all that stuff, they not gonna have, you know, $10,000, $20,000 speakers. You know, they gonna just have the regular, you know, $200, $300 speakers.
Yeah.
Which again should be sufficient enough to get stuff sounding right. But then again, every single speaker is gonna have his own color. It's gonna have his own thing added to it. It's gonna have his own EQ.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to stuff on like KRKs and then you compare it to like ATCs, it's two completely different worlds.
Yeah, it is.
You know, but then there's people that are so used to KRKs that they want to hear stuff the way how they are used to hearing it. And that's not necessarily always accurate. As a mixer, mastering or mixing engineer, you have to have speakers that are accurate, so they are somewhat flat in a sense, where it's
Yeah.
like they don't give you too much color,
Yeah.
but they have their own, like, you know, curves and whatever else, right? So I always say, like, I mean, you know, there's a lot of great speakers. Adams, you know, the more like, I guess Adams are like, they have like the very expensive Adams and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
The new Adams these days too. They have so many new ones.
yeah, there's plenty of them.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like, I mean, there's probably something even above ATCs. There's probably like speakers that cost like $40,000, $50,000 a speaker. You know
100%.
what I mean? Like the game never ends when it comes to those things. But having something that, you know, is accurate and you can reference your thing and you can mix with it, that's always the most important thing. And again, I think I understand everybody got their own vision of how they want to sound. Everybody have their own vision of how they want their music to be and all that stuff. But I feel at the end of the day, and I feel like that correlates to your vision, your budget, because I think like those two things are very important, you know?
Sure.
A lot of people want to be like, I want to make it sound like this, I want to have this and that, but it's like your budget is $100. You have to be realistic
Yeah.
of what you can achieve within that price range.
Yeah.
You
Definitely.
know? And look, if you have a small budget and somebody's willing to do it for that budget, and again, mind, you're probably not gonna have the product that is like top of the line, but don't be too fucking picky.
Yeah.
Take it as it is, because it could have been much worse.
Yeah. It's true.
You know?
Your budget considerations are very important.
Yeah, 100%.
If you're paying someone, you know, $1,000, $2,000 for a mix, then yeah, of course.
yeah,
know.
you can be all picky and all that.
Yeah, because you're paying the money. But you know, if someone offers you a rate and say it's like 500, but then you're like, oh, I only got $200, you can't, you know, ask them for 20 revisions.
Yeah.
You know, it has to all be fair.
I think that's always comes down to, like, you know, the budget and the expectation, right? Because again,
For sure.
that's something that I always find, you know, people that are paying the price and they don't negotiate, they just like, this is the price, this is what we paying. The easiest work. The easiest work. Barely any revisions.
Yeah.
Barely any this and that is like, they know what they come to you to get the product done. You do it. It sounds the way how they want. Maybe you want to change this, change that. Maybe make this, like, you know, just small little revisions. On to the next one.
Do you usually have a, because I know some engineers, when they do mixes, they have a limit to the number of revisions they offer clients. Do you have a limit?
I do and I don't. I think it's like the way how I mix, it kind of I already apply revisions to my mixing process. So let's say I'll do like, you know, 2, 3, 4 mixes where it's just for me. Then I send it to a client and I'm like,
You send all 2, 3, 4 of them?
sometimes, depends on, like, sometimes people want to hear it from the very beginning. Sometimes they just want to hear from the middle. Sometimes they just want to hear like the final thing.
Right.
So I usually try to kind of gauge what they want. But, you know, let's say I would send them like second, third, fourth mix, and I'm like, look, this is what I got so far. I'm still working on it, but let me know what you think so far.
Right.
So if they send me like, do this, and that, I'm like, I would apply the first notes, and I'm still working on it.
Right.
And then send another one. So by the time when I finish, everything is already covered.
Right.
Because sometimes, you know, people mix, and they send the mix 10 or like whatever, like just the final mix to the client, and then the client is like, oh, I don't like this and that. So it's like, it's kind of counterproductive, because you could have sent the mix to the client earlier, so he steers the direction that
Yeah. You're not wasting your time trying things that they wouldn't even like to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like even when it comes to, you know, listening to reference mixes, I used to be that guy that never used to listen to reference mixes, but I started to appreciate it, because reference mixes, when I say reference, I mean like what the client sends you as a reference. Reference mixes are a cheat code for you to get your shit done quicker.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
You know?
I wish I realized that sooner too. Like within, I think like maybe the first 3 years of me mixing, I never really referenced.
Yeah.
And then that caused me to, when I listened to my mixes on Spotify when I was doing it, mixing earlier on, I was like, oh, like, why is it like in a playlist? Like, why does it not sound as, why is the low end not like this? Or why is the high end not like this? And then I was like, why don't I just reference? Like, why don't I just, as I'm mixing, listen to songs that are either they sent to me or songs that are comparable to the style and the genre and the kind of mix that I'm going for. And like you said, it's helped me so much.
Yeah, for sure.
So much.
For me, it's like, you're talking about like reference songs. I'm talking about the actual demo.
Oh, you're talking about the demo?
I'm thinking about the demo.
Oh, no, I'm talking about, for example, like if I get a trap song and it has like a Lil Baby kind of beat, I will just go on Spotify or SoundCloud, whatever, and I just play like a really popular Lil Baby song that has like a similar vibe. Like, okay, this is how, Lil Baby, that style, like, let me apply some of that to my mix.
Yeah, 100%. I did the same thing for the inspiration.
Yeah.
For certain records, I'm like, let me hear this, let me hear that. But mainly, I mean, like just the demo. When I hear the demo, I hate, it's like sometimes the thing is that I've learned how to listen to the demo, not from the perspective of what doesn't sound right. I started to listen to demo from perspective of what is the vision of the song.
Yeah, I feel you.
And like, again, that saved me a lot. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, even with Anders and Luca, like the newer songs that I'm mixing, I had to listen to Luca's demo to get my mix as close as I fucking can, because this guy is like, no, it has to be like that. So I had to like, listen to it, but I found a way where I can listen to, and he sends me everything with his whole entire processing already, right? Like it's routed to my own thing and I just do my own thing with it. But I've learned how to enhance it without changing it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then it's like...
That's also a skill in itself.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, because before, before when I was doing that stuff, it's like I always had this mentality of like, let me just do like what I hear in my head, this and that and that. But then it's like, at the end of the day, I want to make sure everybody's happy. And for me, it's like, if I can make your stuff sounding the way how you want, but I still give my own sauce to it and I'm happy with it, everybody's happy at the end of the day.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I definitely was, I was in the point where I would just do things my own way. I'm like, look, I know how it's supposed to sound.
Sounds like Jason Joshua.
Yeah, that guy said it. Yeah, for sure.
He's like, fuck your ref.
Fuck your ref. I remember that. But again, it's like, I think that's the beautiful thing about reference mixes, that if you're just gonna do stuff your own way, everything that you do always gonna be kind of the same.
Yeah.
The same approach.
Yeah.
When you start listening to like how other people want their stuff to be, you have to be a little bit more creative. You have to find new ways. You have to apply new things to your own style.
Yeah.
So it's like you learn much more by just doing those things. And you have more fun, you know what I mean, by doing those things.
For sure.
So.
And I think a lot of times too, you can learn a lot from producers, because I think the way that producers do rough mixes is very different from how like engineers approach a song, right?
100%.
So sometimes I might be like, oh, yo, try using this. I did it on the rough, and you'll try it on, but oh, that's pretty fire actually, you know?
Yeah, for sure. You just have to listen to it and appreciate what you're hearing and like what they like.
Yeah.
So you can just take that and apply it to whatever you want to do.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. 100%. Referencing is very important.
Yeah, 100%. Referencing on like, obviously the right system and in the right state of mind, and make sure whatever you reference to, your ears are not, it shouldn't be busted. Because sometimes we do things and like our ears are just like tired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how many times I would do something and I'm like, oh yeah, it sounds great. And then I come back and I'm like, why the fuck the vocals are so loud?
Yeah.
But it's like, you don't realize those things when you don't rest your ears.
Yeah. Taking breaks is important.
Yeah.
How often do you usually like rest in between while you're mixing? Like, do you do intervals with specific time frames, or you
mean
like whenever?
Every day, daily, or?
Yeah, like if, say for example, you're mixing the song for today, like are you taking a break every hour, or does it just feel like whenever you're ready to take a break, or?
Honestly, my biggest change of how I mix in the recent, like, I'll say a year, because since I got this room, I started mixing a little bit different, but I mix listening very low. I used to blast it when I was mixing. I was always very, very hot when I was mixing.
Yeah.
right now I just turn it down. Like I'm like 20% of the volume, 15, 20%.
Really?
I'll listen to it very, very low.
Oh.
And then like I would turn it up maybe when I'm like 70% in the mix, just like if I need to like tweak this and that and that.
Yeah.
Obviously, like listening levels also affect your final, like how you push stuff in the master bus and like
Right.
all this stuff when it comes to like bussing and all that stuff. But yeah, I would listen to it very low. Even masters, like mastering, I used to really, really blast. But I tend to stay pretty low on the volume thing. And even when it comes to masters themselves, I try to if I would normally push master like extra 2-3 dB or something, like just to like really get that squash. I'm like a little bit more conservative with the volume. I drop down they still loud, but I'm just not pushing them as much as I used to.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
You know, but again, it's like it might be just what I prefer to hear right now. In like 6 months, I might be just pushing it again. You know,
No,
what
it's
I mean?
true.
It's like,
I think the room makes a big difference. So obviously, how everything sounds here is significantly different from
Yeah.
669. Right?
Yeah, for
so it's
sure.
a much bigger room.
Yeah.
Much bigger room, and your speakers are bigger, different placements,
Yeah.
listening distance. So yeah, it affects everything.
Because at 6 now, I was always like, you know, on the Sigma remote, I would be like 45, 50%. When I,
Oh, like straight up.
yeah. Like that was my normal listening position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And right now, I mean, the only difference is the sub, but like sub is like, you know, as the sub, but everything else is passive when it comes to the signal going to the speakers. But yeah, I'm just like, if I go 25, if I do 25%, that's like loud. If I'm going 30% on the scale, it's like, that means that I'm like really listening to it loud.
So now you're doing 20%. You're saying?
Like yeah, 15, 20%.
that's pretty-
Like I'm like very low. Because
low.
I feel like when I listen, when I mix lower, I feel more dynamics.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? Because you can hear all the little twists and stuff. Like when you listen to stuff loud, you hear everything.
Yeah.
But then you miss a lot of details because everything is in your face. But when you listen to it low, then it's like all those little things that you might miss listening to it loud, you have to pay more attention.
Yeah, I definitely think it's important to listen to it at both volumes. For
Yeah.
sure, like you're saying, like low. Maybe you can start low, listen to it. You maybe get a bit more of the details because, like you said, when you listen to things really loud, sometimes everything just sounds good.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're blasting it, oh yeah, I feel the kick, I feel the bass.
Yeah.
Right, but then it's like you turn everything down, and then your perception changes. Like, oh, this is buried. Actually, this is buried. But it's like when you turn everything loud, everything's just slapping in the ear. So you're just like, yeah, everything sounds blessed. Everything sounds good.
And I think even when it comes to just like different days, I might feel different about certain songs.
Yeah, for sure.
Like even one of the reference mixes that I always have is Versace on the Floor, Bruno Mars. I love this song, love the record, love the mix. But every now and then I listen to it and I'm like, it sounds kind of muffled. Yeah, it's not muffled, but it's just like I hear it and like certain days I'm just like, it doesn't feel the way how I always thought that it feels. But then I listen to it another day, I'm like, nah, it sounds fire. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes it's just like different perspectives or like you're in a different mode, different mood, and different genres have different rules when it comes to the sonics, right? So
Yeah.
I think too, I was watching this, I think it was on YouTube Shorts. I think the guy, I don't remember the name of the channel and stuff. There was some guy. What's the newest generation of kids? Is it Gen A?
Like after Gen Z?
Yeah.
I actually don't know. I don't know.
What is Gen Z? Gen Z is until
Gen Z is 1997? No. 1997 or 1998 is Gen Z onwards.
okay. So even I'm talking about like the younger ones. I'm talking about like the ones that are like
2004.
13 right now. Or
I'm
something.
not
Anyway,
young.
whatever. I think it's Gen A. I think that's what it said. I might be wrong, but there was some girl, and he's a music, like he was either a producer or an engineer, and he was talking to this girl. She's also like, she was young, and I guess she was something with the music. And he was asking her a question. She was like, do you think music quality matters? And she said, no, it just needs to sound good. But she doesn't care about the music quality. She was like, if I hear something, but the thing is that too is like she's young, so she might not understand certain like rules, principles, and like certain
Right.
things about quality, right? Because when something has good quality, you might not understand that it has good quality until you hear something that is bad.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna appreciate the quality.
And obviously everything's subjective, but if something sounds good, it like the quality is directly correlated to how
Yeah.
something sounds good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she probably like the thing is, it's like you said, she probably doesn't know like the difference between like the different aspects of it. But I think mixing and like all these different things, like it plays a significant part of something sounding good. But it's very subjective in terms of
It is.
what that is, right?
I think it's also like, again, because she was so young. I don't know how young she was, but she wasn't older than 15, and she wasn't younger than 12. So she was like maybe 13, 14, maybe 15.
Right.
But he was asking her those questions about music. And it kind of reminded me when I was a young buck back in the day, you know, when I was like, whatever, 13 years old. At the time, you know, and at the time, the MP3 players just started like kind of coming out, like the
Right.
little blue USB ones, 128 megabytes. And I remember back in the day, they used to have this, it was like a compression software, you know what I mean? Oh, fit 50 songs.
Right.
Instead of like, you know, instead of fitting like 10 songs in your MP3, fit 50. I didn't know that it's, you're just turning, you know, 320 kilobytes into 64.
Yeah.
I don't know that. It's just like, oh, I can fit more music on my MP3 player, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell the difference between this and this at the time. I only paid attention to, oh, it sounds good. I like the song. I like
Yeah,
the record.
yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
it's like, it might be the same type of thing where it's like she talks about it from a perspective of, I like the song. I don't understand the quality. But as you're getting older and you are in the music industry, then you understand that certain things just not going to fly,
For sure. Definitely.
you know?
I agree.
So yeah, but you know, that's just another perspective. Is there another thing? We've been talking for a
I
minute.
think I was gonna say I think it's a good point to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have we been doing that? Man, because like,
To be honest, I didn't even turn on the timer. I forgot. But it's almost 7 o'clock.
yeah, so it's an hour.
Yeah.
We
But I think it's
man,
an hour.
went quick.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, those topics, yeah, because we were talking a lot, especially the first topic,
Yeah.
we were getting heated and stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah, we were.
yeah, let's wrap it up, man. We got next week that we can do it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good point to wrap it up. That was the 4th episode of Behind the Console.
On the console.
And yeah, like always, man, we're going to be dropping these videos every single day. Make sure to subscribe, share with your friends, family, coworkers, your dog, your cats, like share with everyone. And you know, everyone will get popping, man.
We only gonna get better and better. I think today, I don't know, today was a pretty good thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
today
feel
was
like,
good.
I feel like, yeah, I mean, we still didn't even release anything yet. They don't have to know it. I mean, whatever, we can just be honest and stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, how we started and how it's going, I think like once we figure out like the lens and all that situation, we'll be blessed. But anyway,
Yeah.
you guys don't have to know all that.
Yeah.
We wrapping it up. You guys take care of yourselves, and you guys gonna see us again next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Yep.